joystick. Hopefully that works. We're gonna save that out. Save the asset. I forgot you have to actually autosave should be on actually. There we go. Interact. This should be. Yeah, let's do this. Interact. Oh my god, dude. Please. Please, please, please. E on the keyboard. Or. No, space. Sorry. Space on the keyboard. Space bar. Please. Space. There you go. Interact should also be, I think X. Or, sorry, bottom face button. I think it's called bottom face button. Button south. Good enough for me. Please, hold on to this. Thank you. There you go. Show derived bindings. I'm wondering if... I don't think this is gonna work. Really... maybe it needs to be not joystick, but joy... Let's listen and see what else there is, you know? Left stick. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. Left stick up. Left stick up gamepad. There you go. Left stick down. Shazak Fazil. Yeah. You know how it is. We want to go left. And then we want right. Right. Left stick right on the gamepad. And this should be all the inputs. So now we have, oh, we don't have it here. Left stick down gamepad. There it is. So we have the left stick up, left stick down, left stick left right. Then we have the interact button, and now let's do the use button. E, and then for this trigger. Right trigger on the gamepad. Damn, dude, this is annoying. There you go. Right trigger on the gamepad. I'm gonna add D-pad to this as well. D-pad up gamepad. Jeez, it really doesn't want to do the things that I'm asking it to. D-pad up gamepad. There you go. don't get it. Weird. Right. There you go. D-pad up, D-pad down, D-pad left, D-pad right. Sick. Add another trigger to this. No re. There we go. Triggers. And that should be all of our inputs. This should be called player, I think. Now I need to hook this all up. Scheme name? Keyboard, yeah. Alright, let's have scheme names. Add control scheme. This is called keyboard. And then gamepad. Gamepad, yeah. So we have gamepad and keyboard. What the hell? How do I edit the control schemes? Because that didn't come out right. Edit control scheme. We have gamepad called gamepad. Save that. Keyboard, which is... Oh, okay. Keyboard. Okay, didn't work. Sure. There we go. Save that. Cool. Okay, gamepad, keyboard, gamepad. All good. Let's save that, I guess, if it needs to be. Using control scheme. Okay, now we gotta select which ones are which for some reason, I think. Yeah, okay. For everyone. Oh, man. Really? What happened? Oh, I see. Gamepad, we have to do it for every one of them, apparently. That's annoying. But I guess once it's done, it's done. Right now they're set to global, but I guess I'm going to focus them into whether they're keyboard or gamepad. That's a lot. Okay, keyboard, gamepad, keyboard, gamepad. Sure. You are now split into your own control schemas. Sick. That is that. Why are we doing this now? It's kind of odd. Oh, player input can now be added. Oh, yeah. Player controller? No, let's look for player input. Do we have to have a manager in the scene? I don't know. I don't actually know. We'll select player controller for our inputs. Scheme, we'll use that for player 1. Default map is player, good. Invoke Unity events? That's a weird one. Sure. Yeah, let's do that instead. Oh, a new character controller. Fudge. You've just gone and... You've done it. You've just gone and done it. Add the component. You start... Oh my gosh, my guy. This is an old character controller. Are you transforming it to the new character controller? Well, first you want to reference to your character or your thing, don't you? On move, on jump. Oh. On move, on jump. Alright, we can do that. I guess let's do that for real quick for the stuff that we have, but I don't know how it has the context of this. Character controller is what... Is that what we called that? I think I called it player controller. Player controls. Did you name it that? I don't actually remember you naming it that, my friend. Sorry. You just kind of like put all this code in here. Just kind of slapped it all in there and like said, yeah. No, it's called player controls. And then you made a new C# script called player controller. Okay, good. And then you got the Unity. Okay. Might end up liking this more, I guess. You serialize all the fields. Fine. Great. I love it. Require component type of character controller. Right. So do you already have a character controller on there? I don't know. I'm fine doing that. Like, I have input system. I'm gonna keep the input system. Require component type of character controller. Although I'm using a rigid body. Require component type of rigid body. Needs a rigid body. Alright, so public void. Let's make a new function. We're going to call it public void on move. Sorry, on interact. And we'll do the same thing with on use. Sure. Because those are my functions. That's what I have right now. Using Unity engine.input system, right? Good. Input action.callback context. Input action. Yeah, we'll get some context for the input action that we have just received as the input, sure, or that we'll pass in as input. And I assume, because this is public, we're probably going to be... I assume this is going to be extrapolated out here to the inspector. So if I click on player 1 here, I'm going to be able to access that function that I just created from within the events. So, device lost, regained, open input system, player. So here are the events that we just made. So on use, interact, and then movement, the ones that we put inside of the player controller here, this thing. It's great. And what we can do now is I think I'm gonna take player 2 out for now, because we're making ourselves a player prefab at this point. And I'm gonna want to make sure that all the stuff I do here, I don't do it twice. So I'm going to go ahead and make an asset or a new folder, and we're going to call it prefabs. We're going to go into the prefabs folder. I'm going to drag our player 1 in there, and that's our player. All the characters will be some copy or instance of this. Now what I want to do is, there's the player input that we had. Open the events, open the player, and then the interact, and then I think I can add in... I think I need to connect this player controller script down here, like that. And then on player input, we do this function that we had just made. Not from player input, from player controller 2D, I made a new function that I cannot see. Weird. What? Oh, here it is. On interact. And I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste. Copy, paste. And now we're going to use on use function. And that's great. Okay. I want to get this, I think I want to get this guy moving first. Because the movement is not currently hooked up. On move, yeah, that's going to be important. Let's do on move too. On move. There we go. Save it, and now we compile it. We wait for it to compile. Once it's compiled, we'll go over here and do the same thing we just did. Right click, paste it in there, and get to our new function that we had just made called onMove. Save that. We now have callbacks for all of this using, well, everything we're doing right now. So this is great. And it passes in the context whenever that's done automatically through this. Blue doo doo blue. Blue, 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 blue. OnMove. So yeah, I'd like to get some movement going for that. So movement input was defined where? I guess up top, but as a vector 2, private vector 2 movement input vector. So it's the vector 2 that we've already been using right up here. Movement direction. So we'll set movement direction to be that. Movement direction equals context. We want to get that context that we're getting in from the player input controller. And then we just want to get the value. So how do I get the value? I read value of the vector 2. That's it. Read value vector 2. Open and close that because it's a function. So we gotta make sure we call the function by putting the open close there, parenthesis. And I guess the same thing for the other ones too. I don't know what context this will be in. I think it's a Boolean. Triggered. Yes. Okay, so it is a Boolean. Yeah, that looks like a Boolean. Good. Okay. So now, but I don't have anything. I don't know. Let's come up with something. Private bool. Interact. Jumped is, I don't know. Interacted. Equals false. Make sure. And then the next, we also need to say used. Item. Use. Used. It's weird. Okay. Not a huge fan of the naming, but really doesn't matter. Equals. Context dot action dot triggered. Seems right. So this is actually just a get. This is a value that we can set. Like, we don't need to. It's not a function like it is here. This is actually just a value. It's another variable, and we're setting it to our variable. That's it. Simple. And same thing with this one, but except USED used context action triggered, same thing. So now we can just do these things. But nothing much is going to change from us. I can get rid of the update. Fixed update still needs to apply the movement. Just fine. This is detached from the way that we're getting the input. It's so funny. Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo. This, how do I make a section? Whatever. This is specifically input system variables. Input system. Just variables for the input system in general. And I think that's everything. What is... Okay, no, that's different. So, link it up. Creating a character, I guess. A prefab. Player input manager. Where'd you put that? Oh, there it is. So now we're doing this whole thing. We're getting a whole thing where we put all the singletons in one place. Create empty. Managers. And we're gonna create a new. Whoa, that's not. I thought. How do you create a new game object? Whatever. Player input manager. I'm gonna surround my singletons in blocks. And then we'll put the player input manager. It's a singleton. You can only have one instance. And I think I want to broadcast. Is that correct? Yes. Player input manager events. Invoke Unity events. Yeah, invoke Unity events, and then the events here. Player join event, and then that's probably when we're going to create the player thing. Yeah, looks good so far. And then the player prefab is right here. Player joins when a button is pressed. Cool. Enable split screen. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. That's neat. Screen rectangle, I guess so. Yeah, that seems right. That's so cool. That's so neat. Let's go into my player prefab real quick. Let's go in the main menu. And let's change that back to 1. Yeah, that's fine. Save that. And let's leave this prefab. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Doesn't say how I want it to do split screen, but we'll see how it handles it. Whoa! Player has no camera associated with it. Join action is triggered. Limit the number of players? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Only 4. Oh, I love it. toggling this on and off disabled even with single player. The player will stay locked onto the explicitly selected. Note that you will still change. Okay, got it. Oh, player input. I need to now go into the player, open the prefab, and I need to give it a camera. There it is. UI input module. I don't think I have that. Auto switch? No. You can turn that off now. That's fine. Save it. I think I do want it to switch control schemas though. Default scheme. When single player, the player is allowed to freely switch between control schemes simply by starting to use a different device. Yeah, fuck. That sounds great. What the hell? Let's move around there. Just can't move with the controllers. That's all. Doesn't seem to pick up the input, so maybe I can debug that. I thought there was a debugger for the input system. Window. Can I not debug this? Debug? I think it would just be in debug. Touch simulation? Sure. Where? What? How did I debug this before? Like a while ago I was able to do that. Okay. I have no idea. Oh my gosh, am I at the beginning of the entire album? Jeez, guys. Go to Crypt. No, we already did Crypt. Risk of Rain by Chris Christodoulou. I have to put some credit on the screen and that's fine. This album goes pretty fast. And that's great. That's fine. I'm not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of the way that it does split screen. Is this input? Unity shortcuts? No. Mute audio. Stay focused. Oh. It's like, what? Yada, yada. Device simulator? No. Get out of here. Input debugger. Golly. Finally. Oh boy. DualSense. Can I just do gamepad? Yada hada.